And yeah, it's working. So we're live. Um, this is a continuation of, well, the previous sessions that I have made about making a blog with using Cursor and Laravel. I mean, there are different ways to do it. I'm doing the way that I like to. It's coding. It's using tools, AI tools like Cursor with their different models, and it's a combination it's a combination from of different methods as of manual input, but also using AI to help you. And in this session, we're going to be working on several things. Going to take a screenshot in here to so that I have the what I'm going to be working on to have it in here. Okay, so now I have it. And we're going to be doing some things on the design end. In the previous session, I was, several of the things that I was doing, they were having, I was mentioning that it wasn't the best design and that there were ways to improve the design. So now I want to focus on that. We are also going to be adding more functionalities to when you are creating a blog post. So for example, let me just open this. Let me run the server so that I can open it in my local host. So it's now, this is running. I can go to the dashboard, and the previous session we were working on the admin blog create, and we're going to be continuing on this and doing some additional things to the admin dashboard. For example, creating authentication routes for just for admins, and also what else? What else do I have in here? Also, how to add a thumbnail using AWS S3 from here. So that's what we're going to be working on. There are a lot of those are a lot of steps, not steps, but a lot of features, functionalities, and it's going to maybe we are not able to do it that all today, but that's the plan. Okay, so let's get started. First, we're going to start with let's start with the design. Let's make a design system. And a design system is basically a set of components that our that is going to be reused for the different elements in our website. You can do this design system using something like Figma, where you have the elements, like the visual elements. You can see them, you can see how they interact, what are the animations. You can basically see the bottom, the bottom, sorry, the cards, and you are seeing them. But there's other ways. For example, a design system using JSON, and this JSON is a file format that has all the characteristics that the components should have. For example, the color, the background color, the corners, the shadows, if there's any border, and which color and which width, and all of these things are included in the JSON design system. So for AI, it's better, I think, to have it as a JSON because they can interpret it easier, sorry. and and it's going to and we're going to be able to say to Cursor to use the parameters in the design system in JSON format, and it's going to be able to add it. That's basically how we're working with this design. As you can see, I mean, it still needs a lot of improvements, this design, but as you can see, it's maintaining a same color for each of the buttons, and we have other colors for other buttons. We have a ring in here. When we focus, we have the border, and we have several things. So now if I do anything additional in here, for example, mm, add a new page, I can just I can just say to Cursor to follow the parameters or the guidelines, sorry, in the design system JSON file. So that's what we're going to be working. And to do that, there are different ways. We could go, for example, so there's this page called v0.dev where we can see different designs, different websites, and we can get inspired by them. But to be honest, right now, I don't want to do it like this. I want to do it a little bit different. For example, if I go to, I want to look for, let's see, there's this podcast that I like. It's called, I think it's called TPDN. I still don't get the name. I still don't have the name like really memorized. So no. So let's call it technology. I think it's technology daily podcast news or something like that. I think that's the name. So it's from John. I think it's John Coogan. So that's, sorry, it was TVPN. So I'm going to open this and I'm going to remove the sound. Okay. So for example, in here I have these colors, like, well, they have these colors, these green colors, these gray colors, and these black colors, dark colors. So we could take a screenshot of this and say to an AI, in this case it's going to be Cloud from Anthropic, to give me a design system following these colors and this vibe. So that could be a way to do it. That's a way that I was thinking about it. And I'm thinking about what other podcasts do I like. For example, there's this podcast called Business Untitled that I also like. So, and I'm showing you like all of the like the full process. This is the first time that I'm doing this. Not the first one time, but this is the time that I'm doing this for this project. So that's why I'm like searching and having the ideas right now here with you. So sorry if it's taking longer than you expected, but I really want just to show like the full process, because sometimes we see a video and we think that everything is like pretty straightforward in and usually it's like more usual than not, it's a process, and you have an idea, then you change your idea, then you get another idea and you adapt the idea. So that's why I want to show in here like the full process for getting ideas. So for example, there's this, like we can see, let's see, there's a episode with them with Snoop Dogg. So I think this is the episode. So I'm getting a Restream ad that is visual, exactly what I'm using to stream to multiple places. So okay, so I could take a screenshot from here, and it's a really light theme, like a lot of white, a lot of light, and there are not a lot of different colors. So I really I like it, but I don't want it for this design, for the design of this website, Agents Tower. I want something more I don't know, blue or green. So I like this blue and this green and this white with lights. So I like more, let's see if I can get a full scene. Okay, so there's not So there's not a scene where I can see like the full like the full scene. But I'm going to take a screenshot of this. Okay, so I'm taking a screenshot, and what I'm going to do, let's see if this works. So I'm going to go to Cloud. So that's cloud.com. Sorry, cloud.ai. Sorry for that. Don't get mad at me, Cloud or Anthropic. And I'm going to paste this image. So this is the screenshot that I just took. And now I'm going to write something. I have it in here. So I'm going to copy this. And I'm going to paste it in here. So I'm going to say, convert the attached image to a web design system in JSON. Focus on the feeling the image conveys, as well as the colors and contrast. Give me background colors, text colors, button colors, text sizes, input boxes, spacing, and anything else you feel relevant. And I'm going to say something else. For example, the background of the website should be light, using, for example, the colors of using the wall colors of the attached image, and the color of the buttons should use the green or blue elements in the attached image. Also, the borders or shadows should be based on the wall border colors, for example. Let's see what does this do. So it's going to start working. It's going to give me an like in here, like where it's adding the code. And to be honest, I cannot read this. Like, yes, you can see, like, for example, the accent colors, the text colors, and the background colors, but I don't know which color is this. So I'm going to wait that when this is done so that I can add it to Cursor and see how does this look. Okay, so it's explaining everything that it made, like why it made it like that, and we could read it and we could add some more modifications, but I'm going to copy this. So I just want to copy it, and now I have copied, and I'm going to go to Cursor. So just a moment, I want to, okay. So in here, we're going to create a new file. Right click, new file, and it's going to be called design.json. And I'm going to paste everything that I copied from Cloud. Okay. So now, for example, if I go to the main page, to the admin dashboard, I'm going to let's do something. Let's see if I can go to the blog, and let's see if I can tell it to modify the design of the blog. Okay, so let's go in here, and this is the, we go to resources, views, and then I go to articles, index. This is the index of articles. And as you can see, so I'm going to delete not delete, it's just close. And this is index. And I'm going to go also, as you can see, it's using the web layout. So I'm going to go to web, to the layouts folder. I'm going to go to web, and this is where most of the design is happening. And also, I'm going to go to app.css. So where all of the styles are defined. Okay, so now let's start with using the AI. So first, I'm going to edit the styles. So I'm going to say edit all of at app CSS styles. So I'm going to move. I think I'm blocking this thing with my camera. So I'm just going to move it where this. Okay, so it is here. I'm just going to move it to the other place. Okay, so I edit all of app CSS styles to match the design system guidelines in design.json file. Modify variable colors, spacing, border colors. Basically, recreate the styles as they are defined in design.json. Let's see what this is. Sometimes this takes time because it's reading the design.json file, but also it takes time to make all of the modifications. But I think so. Let's see what does this do. So it says to align the styles with the design, we need to update the CSS. Okay, basic styles. This is a partial update to demonstrate how to align. You should continue this process for all styles, ensure. So no, I want you to do everything. So I'm going to apply these changes. Let's see. So it made this change. So it now made this change. And what else? Okay, let's see. So it made like very little changes. So I'm going to change the I'm going to make it as agent, and I'm going to move from GPT-4o to Cloud. So we could use Cloud 4. To be honest, I have used more Cloud 3.5 and I have a better feeling for this. So okay, so yes, continue revert. Okay, so it revert the changes. So this is going to take a little bit more, I think. Let's see. So yes, it's thinking more. Okay. Hopefully it doesn't take too long. I want to continue working on other things. Okay, so it's working. So it's making the changes. And it is telling me that it made the changes. So let's see. Okay, it made these changes. Okay, so basically it modified all of the okay, so it basically modified everything. I can accept all of the changes. Sorry. And if I go to in here, let's see if it changed this. Okay, so I'm not seeing a lot of changes. So for example, let's see, how is this button defined? So for example, in here, okay, so it's not using the app CSS colors or the classes. So, and also the background is not using it. So I'm going to make a change in header. So I'm going to open header. So where's header or navigation? So that's navigation. Okay, so this is where's the button, So navigation links, dashboard. Okay, so I'm going to modify this to be button. I think it should be button. Where's button? Okay, so it's button and button primary. Okay, so let's see. Okay. Okay, so I made some changes that I don't want. And let's see. What is the background color? Okay, so now I want to modify the background color from here. So it's going to delete all of this. And let's see. Okay, so not everything. So for example, in here, I'm going to be using okay, main navigation. So if I go to here, okay, so where is this? Okay, navigation, sorry. So navigation, I'm going to delete absolute top left, right, and this. I don't need it anymore. So, okay. I don't know if it modified the type, the font. So let's see. So yes, it modified to a Georgia Street font. So I don't know if I really like that. Yes, there are things that I don't like in this design. Yes. So I need to improve it. I'm going to let's do it. So first, this is using slightly smaller font. So for example, I usually use 20, but now it's using a font size of 16. So I'm going to go in here. So let's see what were the changes that were made. For example, in here, I can see the changes. So I want to go back. Okay, so I want to use HTML. Okay, so let's see. Not to sans. It says it's using not to sans. So where is not to sans? That's weird. Okay, I know what's going on. So it's using this font in the, yes. So I just want to modify this. And I'm going to change it back to titles, sorry. So now, okay, so now it's using the font that I previously defined, that was Robotus Lab. We can see that in our tailwind .config.js. For titles, I'm using Robotus Lab. This file, tailwind.config.js, is it's how it used to be before Tailwind version 4. Now that version 4, that Tailwind version 4 is out, you define these things in other files. But I don't want to update this project. It's already working, or it's already defined how it's going to work, and I want to just continue using it because I know how to use it. And yes, for new projects, I'm using new Tailwind before, but for this one, we're going to stay with this Tailwind way of working. So, okay. And I don't want to use in here this font, so I'm just going to remove this because it's already defined. Save this, and okay. So let's see. It's using Notestans. So, and yes, we are using Notestans. Okay. So now, what else? The font, the base font. So I want to use base font Excel /5. So as you can see, it's a little bit bigger. That's how I like to. So I like to have that text be bigger. I like to have it in 20 pixels as the base font. Okay. And I don't like the buttons to be like this, so I'm going to modify this structure. Modify this structure in button in here. So font size, okay. So we used to have it like this. Let's see. Okay, so I don't like it. What else? Okay, line height. So that's font weight. We're going to use 700 for buttons, and we're going to use line height of 0.8 rem. So okay, and I think I want to modify these. Yes, that's better. Okay, so I like it. I like this better. Let's see what's the background color. So navy body. So let's look for it. No, it's not in here. It's background color. I don't know if it's being used. So let's see. So in here, plus CSS. Let's see. Background primary. Okay. So it's not being used. So let's modify that. So let's go to this is root. So let's do it like this. So it's going to be HTML and body. Okay. And I'm going to add something like background color. Okay, this is how it's. Okay, so now we have a background color. It's a light background color, but it's different from white. Okay, and let's see if we need another background color for this. So let's go to. So what's this like an? Okay, so for example, this is this element. It's a div and it says background white. So we are going to modify this background white to be. So this is in the index in here. So we're going to modify this. And I don't know if it can be done with this with Tailwind V4 version 4, but there's a way to use variable names. For example, background. Let's see if this works. Okay, so let's do a red just to see if this is working. This should work, but I just want to validate. Okay. So yes, it's changing the color. So for example, let's see if I select this element. We're going to see if I look in here, background color. So there it is. So now, instead of using this, let's see if I can use the name of a variable. Okay, so let's see if this is working. Okay, yes, we're using the background color from the variable background secondary. So if I go to app CSS and I go to background secondary, you're going to see that it's this color F5, F3, F0. So that's F, you can see it in here, F5, F3, F0. So, okay, so if I change this, for example, I'm just going to copy this just to modify it. For example, an orange one, and we save it, and we refresh, you are going to see that it changed. Okay, so yes, it's working. So now I'm going to leave it with this secondary color. And what else? What else? The footer color, and we need a padding in here. So I'm just going to go to web layout, and I'm going to change the footer. Well, I'm going to change main to have a padding of 20. So now we have a padding in here, and I want to modify the footer to have a different color. Okay, so let's go to footer. In Cursor, you open that, and I think that's the same in VS Code. So that's Control P, and you just look for the file that you want to edit if you know the name of the file. So I'm going to modify the background color, and let's see. Okay, so it has the same color. We could modify this color. For example, if we had could use a background secondary, tertiary. Let's see how does it look. So it's going to be background. So instead of secondary, tertiary. So let's see how does this look. Okay, so it's a little bit darker, or we could use warm. So it's like pretty big, like there's not a lot of difference. So I'm going to use tertiary for the moment. So footer, tertiary. Okay. And maybe you think that this design system is not really useful, but we're going to start using it more. So you are going to see everything that it helps us with. So let's go here. So now I want the logout to use the same. So for example, so button primary, and this one is going to be button secondary. So let's see, logout. So I don't like this color. So let's see. So that's secondary. So CTA secondary background color. Okay. Secondary light. Okay, secondary dark, secondary light. Okay. So for example, if I look for button and okay, button text light, button text dark. Okay, and then button hover, button primary, secondary. Okay, CTA secondary, CTA dark. Okay, and I'm going to use an outline instead of secondary. We're going to use button outline because I was reading like how to. It's because I don't want this to have a lot of buttons, like which ones are buttons and which ones. One of all of these buttons that has a color, which one is the most important? So I was reading about that, and like some of the theory behind user interface design. So I want to apply that in here. So basically, what they were saying is, I don't remember what I read. Like I don't remember the website, but you just need to have one of these buttons or maybe two, but they have to have like um, the same action, and then the secondary buttons coding, well, not coding, but we need to have it like not in a different color, but like an outline button. So that's what I want to do right now. So let's go to here, and instead of secondary, let's use outline. So okay, so this is logout, but there's something that I don't like about this. We're going to make some changes. So for example, I want to go here. So it's outline. Okay. So okay. What do I don't like? Look how it is like a little bit bigger, this button, because it has a border. So the border is additional to the height of the button. So and the width. So what I'm going to do is add a border to this one so that it also has the same height, and then we can modify it. So for example, you can see in here that it has a border. So I'm going to add a border to the button primary. No, sorry. So it's going to be, I'm going to add it as the border for all buttons. So it's going to be 2 pixels. And so I think, so we're going to use this. So it's going to be border width, and then it's going to be border style. And for each one of the buttons, we're going to add a color. So for example, the border color is going to be the same one as this. And we could change it when it's hover, but I also want to do it in here. So this is not dark. So this is just secondary. And this is outline. Okay, yes. So border color, CT primary. And this is going to have, so it needs to have the same background color as the button because that's what we're working on with right now. Okay. Okay, so I'm just going to leave it. So this is going to be the same button. Sorry. Yes. Sorry. So that's border color. No, this doesn't need it. Okay, so now, as you can see, it looks a little bit bigger. But now look how the color changes for the background, but not for the border. So we're going to add it in here. Border color, border color, border color, border medium. So now you can see how the color changes for the bottom as well. So now I want to make it a little bit not that high, not that tall, sorry, because we already have the width of the border. So I'm going to go to the button in here, and instead of using 1.4 rem, so 1.4 rem of padding, it's so supposedly this should be 20 times 1.4, so that's 28 pixels. I'm not sure. Let me just validate this. For example, if we go to compute it, and I'm going to move this, and we look for the padding top, so it says 16 pixels. So it's 28. So it says, oh, okay, sorry for that. So it says 16 pixels. So for example, if I go in here, yes, sorry, it was 0.8. So 0.8. So 0.8 times 20. So that's 16 pixels. So now we have, I want to use 14 pixels because I already have 2 pixels of the border. So that's 14 between 20. So that's 0.7. So we're going to put 0.7, and this is going to be 1.3. So now, if I mean, it's small changes, but to me they make the difference. So now it looks more like a button that I want to use. Okay? So now we go to Agents Tower. We still have the background color in here. So let's remove it. So let's go to, let's open the sidebar, and let's go to, so it should say teal. So we need to modify the teal in all of this. So for example, but yeah, so we have the calculator. I didn't remember about the calculator. So yes, we have this calculator that we need to modify. So, okay, so this, I don't want this. So this was the show for articles. So now if I go to an article in the blog, and I go to an article, we have the same style, and we're going to modify this. So this is the home. I don't want this. And Okay, so how we have a, this card. So let's see, we have a color, a border color. So if I look in here for border, so yes, we have border light, medium, and dark. So let's see, light, medium, and dark. Okay. So let's go in here. I'm going to use, let's see, border. Okay, let's see if this works. Where was it changed? Oh, so this is in the registration form. So when someone is not logged in, this is how it looks. Okay, so yes, we need to modify this button as well. So it's going to be like this. So let's start it. I don't want it to be like that, so we're going to so flex row. So this one like this. Okay, so get started. And we also need to modify this button. So we modify the one when they are logged in. So it's this one, but not the one when they are not logged in. So we're going to modify that one. That's also in web blade. Sorry, in navigation, but in here. So it's already like this, and it's already how I have defined it. So now I need to modify this. So I'm going to go to navigation, home. Okay, so okay. And then I have to modify this color as well. So I'm going to just delete it. I'm going to delete this. Okay. Okay, so now I have these cards. So as you can see, this code is being written several times because right now there's not a component for these cards, and we could make a component because we are using this in the blog as well. So we could use this same, we can make a component that it's going to be reused in the different places where we use cards. So let's create that component. So I think this is going to be the first time we create a component in these sessions. We have used previously layouts, but now we're going to make a component. So if I go to where are we going to add it? We're going to add it in the top most level of this folder. So it's going to be called article card because it's going to be used primarily for blog articles. Okay, so I'm going to copy what we are using in index. So it's basically this. So yes, so I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to go to article card, and I'm going to paste it. Okay, so in here we need to add something that is called props. That's going to have the information that we want to send to this component. So we go to where is this being? So now we have a lot of changes. I'm going to start saving those changes. So design JSON, app CSS, footer, navigation, index. Nice. And I'm going to save it as updated design. So created design.json and updated design. So I wrote design wrong, but no problem. So now I can just close everything here. And so, for example, if we create the home and now I have an error, I'm going to show you, like, I'm going to try to make an error so you can see. So right now it's not making any errors. So for example, I'm going to close this. And if I go to the website, so this, I'm going to close this. And if I go in here, I'm going to close all of this. So close this. And now if so this is not going to give me any error, but we're still not using the component. So now if I go to home and I try to replace this with the card component, so something like this, it's going to, I think it's going to give me an error. Yes, we have an error because I haven't defined article. Okay, so now if I go to the home, to the controller that creates this, that sends us to this web page, I'm going to go to roots web, and it's the home. It's sending us directly to the home view. So I'm going to create a new controller just to manage this type of things. So for example, I'm going to create something like a roots controller. So PHP artisan make controller, and it's going to, I'm going to call it root controller, like this, empty. And we go to the controllers, and I'm going to write something like so it's going to be, it could be index, but to be honest, I want to change it to home, and we're going to have home in here. So no, so this is so it's going to be home view home. So it's going to send me to this as well. It's going to give me another error. Okay, so yes, I need to update the roots. So if I go to web roots, so now I can change this to be root controller name home to this function, but it's going to now give me another error, so it doesn't exist. So I just need to add it in here. I'm going to separate it, and I'm going to add it in here. Now it's going to give me the article error again. And so now, now I can define in here what do I want to send to the view. So I want to send the last 5 articles, or sorry, the last 3 articles maybe. So instead of all, we're going to use where publish So it's where is published true. And now instead of get, I want to use order by. So it's going to be the last ones that were updated and take true. And now I need to send this with compact articles. And this is a way that I can send it. I think it's still going to give us an error. I'm still missing something, but this compact basically means that I'm sending the articles, this object, using this name. Like if it has the same name, so it's going to be an object where the key is articles and the value is the articles object. So this is like instead of me sending it, for example, like this, where articles equals articles, and then I need to add something for, I don't know, if I had, for example, authors like this, and instead of adding it like this, where I need to write authors equal sign and then this sign, the symbol, and authors, I can just write compact like this, like just one time. So that's basically what it's doing. If you ever had the curiosity. So I just need to add in here article. Okay. I like to separate this. So now it's still going to give me an error. So if I reload this, it's still giving me an error because I have articles, not article. So it's several articles. So for example, if I show you what's in here with die down and we refresh this, you can see that we are getting 3 articles. Okay, so this one, and the other one. So now if I need to do something like a loop for each articles as article, use this. So, but for example, I'm going to delete this because this is going to still give me an error. So the issue is that I'm not passing the article object to the component. So I'm just adding the component, but I'm not telling the component which one is the object that it needs to use. So that's why we send this. We send the object like this: article equals. I think it's like this. I think it's like this. So okay. So yes. Obviously there are things that we need to improve. But now you can see that we are using the same design that we have in our blog. So if I go to blog, here you can see the same background color and the same hover effect. So now if I go to here and I go to, so first let's see, slide. So if I go to I'm going to make this as an okay. So there are different things I need to do in here, but if I go to blog index of articles, we're going to see that this is using grid. So I need to add the same thing in my in the view, in this view. So I go in here. So this is flex. So we're going to add it in here, and we're going to delete flex home. We're no longer using this gap. I think we don't need this. So now, okay, so now you can see how it's following the same design that we had in the articles index. So I just want to change the color of this to separate this section from this one. So I'm going to go to the home, and for this section of detailed tutorials, I want to use another background color. So we're going to use background secondary, and as you can see, it's a different color. But we could use, for example, I don't know, tertiary, something like this, to be so that it's darker. And we also need to change this text color. So I'm going to do that in a moment because this is not. I don't like this combination. Okay, so we're going to work on that in a moment. Just let's finish this. So it's now working. So we need to use so I'm going to, we need to make these ones work as a link. So if I go to indexing here and we copy this link, and we can add it in here. So like this, and close it. So now these are links. Okay, so now I can make link and go to the website like this. Okay, so there are things in here that I don't like. I'm going to modify them. For example, this section, this space that is in here, it's because of the of a padding that I added. So in here, I'm going to remove this padding. And now it's not going to be in here, but if I go to the blog, it's going to be one next to the other. So I can add that in index in here, and I can add the padding in here. So it's going to be padding button 20. So now we're going to have a padding here. Okay. So, and now we don't have that space with another color in here. So let me just take a little bit more. And I'm going to remove these cards. So I go to home. Where's home? This is card one. I'm just going to delete them. So yes, so it's everything until here. So now we have it like this, and I just need to add something else in here. So for example, I need to add a space between this button. So it's going to be called. And this is just going to be a button, and so I just want this one to be secondary. More articles, okay? And I'm going to separate it from the top section with this, right? So now it's working. Okay, so what else? What else can we do? I want to modify this color of the text. So let's add in here adding top. It can be. Let's see what happens if I add 16. Okay. So it's a lot. Maybe 10. I think it's okay. Maybe 8. It should also be defining the design system, but I'm not going to go into that detail in this occasion. So let's see this color. Let's see if it's defined. So yes, so I still need to modify this. I'm going to remove this for just like fast. So border. I'm going to add the border directly in here, like this, like this, like this, like this, like this. Okay, so now I deleted everything, and I just want to make sure that it looks okay. So yes, it's looking okay for me. So that's the calculator, and we have the AI. I think it's AI prices. So now it's I need to add a button here to see the prices. But yes, so I can use the web roots, and for example, we could look for prices table. So it's prices table. It's pretty basic, but okay. So I'm missing a lot of prices I need to add. This is because I deleted the database. But if I go to the main website, the one in the server, you're going to see that we have a lot of prices in here. Okay, so that's working, and I want to change this color. Yes, so let's see if it is defined. So let's start saving changes. So in here, so this is going to be called roots controller, and I'm going to add these changes. Created components, created article card component, and so created article card component. Okay, so let's start syncing changes with the repository, with the cloud repository. So now I want to change this. So it's app.css. Let's see if there's a color for the call for the text. So it's text primary. This is the color that is using. Secondary, okay. Accent green, accent blue, and accent white. So I want to add a color. So for example, I want to go to so I'm going to use something like text. Yes, we can use text link, but also, so I want to use text highlighted or something like that. So for example, if I add in here manage your AI costs and actions. So we're going to change this to text. I don't know if this is going to work. I think it's not. Yes, it's not working. So I need to add this. I think that works in the new Tailwind version 4. But okay, so it's using the same color. So I don't like that. So what are we going to do? So let's open Cloud again. So that's Cloud. And I want to add the same. So no, I'm going to go to the chats, use this one, and I want to ask some like a follow-up. So which blue would you use to highlight? So which shade of blue will you use to highlight some text? Use the base your answer in the design system JSON file you created, as well as on the image, the previous image that was attached. Okay, so let's send this. Okay. Okay, let's see this color. Let's see how does it work. So let's see how does it look. I'm going to paste it in here. And let's see. Okay, so I don't like it. It doesn't highlight anything. So I need, let's see, how can I do this? So let's let's ask it. I don't like that blue. Use how can we call it? A blue with more. How do you say it? Like use a more lively blue. Let's see if this works. Okay, so it's modifying everything. So let's see what did it modify. This is what I don't like about working on code with these type of interfaces, because it's I cannot see which ones were the changes, and it's just changing it like nothing else matters. But instead in here I can see exactly what the changes were, where the changes were made, and it's explaining why those changes were made in the same screen. But let's get this. So let's see if this one is better. So okay, I'm not fully convinced of it, but we could modify it. I think if I go in here, so here, for example, if I do something, I could use something like this. I do like this one. So I'm going to get this one like this. Okay. And I'm going to modify this color as well. So detail tutorials. So I'm just going to delete all of this. So it's from here to here. So it's going to be text like this. Let's see if it looks better. I like it better. I'm not fully convinced of it, but we're going to leave it like this. And we can also update these colors. For example, that is done. This is using an Apache, what's the name? A E3 Apache shards. So, oh no, sorry. I think this one's a little bit more basic. I don't remember. So let me see. Where's web layout? Yeah, it's using eShards from Apache. So it's eShards. So we're going to change the color. Where's the color? It's in here. So I'm going to add this color. And it's the title. Let me see. Okay. So it's this color. I think it was changed. So for example, if I reload this, yes, it was changed. And now I want to change also the color of this line, or maybe we can leave that line to have it be a little bit different. For example, we can use the green that it's being used in here. Maybe let's see. So let's see if I can just change it in here, like fast. So I'm just going to see if this changes with to red. Yes. So, but I think I need to change also the marker. No. So the tick. How can I change the tick? Let's see. No, it's tooltip. Okay. So I don't think this is going to do anything. Okay. I want to change it to a green color. Basically, this green. So, sorry. So this green. Let's see how does it look. Okay, but I want to change this color of the ticks. So I'm going to ask. So like this. So how can I change the tick color? I think it's called tick for this line. Data point color. So item style. Let's see if I can add it. Okay. So in here. Okay. Let's see if that changes. Okay, yes, it changed the color. So we can validate it if we add, for example, a red. You can see it. Okay. So I think it looks a little bit better. We can change it again. We could use the same color. I don't know, like there are things that we can use to improve this. But let's continue. So this is how we work with a design.json file, and this is going to help us in the future when we want to create a new web page or or, or something like that, because um, we can just say to follow the guidelines in app.css, but also in the this in design.json. Okay, so now if I go to an article, you can see in here that we also have, we are using, we're getting the latest articles and showing them in here. So for example, we can now use the component, the article card component, to show the articles using the same style that in blog. Okay, and also these cards, we can update them using the same component in here. So I'm going to change this and text color and change this to short. Okay. So calculator. In here we are going to use the like this. So it's just going to use this and it's going to stay the same. Yes. And now in an article, if I go to an article, here I need to add the same thing in here. So if I go to the show articles, and I go in here, I can add. So look at this. Look how in here we have something called other articles, and we are giving the name other article. So that's why we use this structure. So for example, I'm going to assign other article to article, so it's not going to give me any problem. So if I go to like this, sorry, like this, everything's going to work. So, well, not exactly like this. Yes, let's do it, but it's going to look a little bit strange because we don't have everything. It's in else an order list. So I'm going to modify with this and like this. So now it's looking a little bit more like the cards in here. Okay. So I just want to make this center and separate it a little bit. So I'm just going to add a button, more articles, and this is going to be, so I'm going to use flex like this, and it's already centered this, but I want to center it more, like in case I need it. So the issue is if this is like really long, so for example, if I paste this like a lot of times and I remove this text center, even though this is centering the container, that text is going to go to the left because that text is not centered, just a div, just a container. So if I add in here text center, now the text is also going to be centered. Yes, but in this case, you think it's not in it, but then you start looking at when it starts to be more dynamic, you start adding titles that are longer than you were expecting, and it starts to modify the structure and the view. So I like to do it since the beginning as this, as using this paradigm to avoid any problem in the future. So now we have newest articles, and this is going to be, I want to h3, a little bit, but I'm going to use it as text. Let's see. So I want to want it to be a little bit bigger. Okay, and 16. I don't know if 16 exists, so let's use 20. Okay, so 16. So yes, let's use 16. And I'm going to use in here a little bit less. It can be 6. Okay. Okay. So it's working. Okay. So obviously this is not looking really good because I don't have the full paragraph right now. But we're going to be using this to create a blog post. Okay. So, but before we go into that, let's give some design to the create article page. Okay, so just a moment, let me make something in here. Okay, so I want this to be a little bit bigger, and okay, so we're going to give the dashboard a little bit of design. We're going to add a sidebar and other things, but first let's what are we going to do? So first, let's create an article, and then we're going to add a button to edit the article, and then we're going to add some design because we're going to start needing it in that moment. So let's go. So first, I want this to be a little bit higher, so taller. Sorry. So let's finish saving these changes, committing them, and so this was index and show article style, for example. Okay, so now let's go to okay, so we have these fruits. Okay, so now I'm not going to go into that right now. So let's go to create an article. So that was done in the edit elements. So I'm going to open edit elements that I was working on the previous session, and I'm also going to add the admin controller. So that's admin controller. Okay. So get create article. So I'm going to go to in here. We have text area. Where's text area? Okay, in here. So I'm going to add something like rows. That's the height, how tall it's going to be. So if I go to edit elements, where's text area? In here. And if I go to here, I can add something like, if it's set at the rows like this. So just a moment. So I don't have rows. So for example, yes, if it's set at 10 rows, as you can see, now if I reload this, it's taller. So for example, now if I modify this and I say 20 rows and I refresh this, it's going to be taller. Okay? So we're going to use something like 14 rows for this, and we refresh it, and there you go. Okay, so now we're going to create a blog, and then we are going to edit the blog. Okay, so for example, if I create something like third session blog article, and then I don't know, I add like so for example, you create a blog in here. Let's let me log in. Let's see if I have some blogs in here. Just a moment. So I'm creating blogs from here. So if I go to, just a moment. So AI agents. So I don't have it here. Yes, I don't have it. Okay, so no. Okay. So let's do a blog post, like really basic. This is the heading. This is the paragraph. Okay, so let's select an author and let's publish. So if I save this, we need to delete this. So I need to write this so that I don't forget that I need to set a timeout in here. So now if I go in here to blog, we have the third session blog. But why? What happens if I want to delete this blog? Not delete, sorry. Yes, delete, but also edit. So we need to add another button to edit this article. So let's create this this button. So admin controller. So let's open. I think it's index admin. Yes. And I'm going to add another button. So it's going to be called edit article. Okay. So we are going to go to admin controller, and we need a new one of these. So when we also need a web root. So now for editing controllers, we're going to go to, sorry, editing blocks. So we have this, but in here, we're going to add something like an article ID. Okay, so this article ID, and okay, get edit article. Okay, so I'm going to go in here and public function post. Okay, so it has public function. Okay. So we have article ID. Okay. So now if I go in here, I have this error because I need to add the ID of the article that I want to edit. So for example, if I add something in here like in the index, so for example, if I add something in here, like article ID. I think. Okay, so so I'm going to add, for example, three article with ID 3, and I put my mouse over this button. Look how in the left corner. So I'm going to move from here to here. So look how in the left corner it's appearing. It's appearing um, the ID of the article that it's going to be edited. So if I click in it, it's going to, it's sending me to the article 3. I still have errors that I need to work on. Okay, but it's basically trying to edit the article with the ID 3. We need to make this dynamical. So that is what we're going to be working right now. Um, so there are several things that we need to do to make this work. So for example, first, I like to make this, how is it done? I think it's um, like this, article ID. Okay, so yes. So it's a little bit more, it's a little bit more specific what I want to do. So the article ID, it's going to be 5, and it detects that this is the article where I need to add that ID. Okay. So we are going to first work on this, what happens when I make click in edit article. Okay, so I'm going to go to admin controller. Okay, and we need to add all of the fields. Okay, so it's title. Okay, like this. Okay, so now supposedly this should give me at least a way to edit this article. So the article with ID 5, let's see which one it is. So I'm going to open the database. So let's go to the database. Okay, so let's select ID, slug, name from articles. So the article with ID 5 is this one, Kia et Ducimus. So I'm going to copy all of this, right click, Control C in my keyboard. And then if I go to this and I write, and I copy and I paste this, it's going to take me to this article. And this is the article with the ID 5. So it's basically this article that I'm editing here. So I'm going to change this article name. So it's going to be called edited article. And it's going to give me an error if I try to do it like this. I just need to create this. So let's see if this works. Save. Okay, so it supposedly changed it. If I reload this, look how the article title changed. And this is like, this is working, but it's not working how I want to. And that is the issue right now. That yes, you can make something work, but you need, if you want to make like really specific changes on how something of how something needs to change, or you want it to work, we still need to do all of these things. So that's basically why we still need to code. Like AI is not like fully replacing us. Okay, so so let's work on this. Okay, Okay, so first let's change this. I want it to disappear. So for example, if I go to how is this working? So this is a message, success message, and this is appearing in the web layout. So, why is it not appearing? Oh, sorry, this is in the admin layout. So, okay, so if session has this, add this, but I need to add a timeout. So I'm going to ask Cursor how to do this. So tell me, sorry, add set timeout to disappear container, message container from after 5 seconds, for example. So let's send this. Okay. Okay. Yes, I like this. Message container. Okay. Yes. Yes, that's exactly how I want it. I don't know why it's not adding it, but I can copy, like, so I need to copy everything, and I'm going to add it in here. Sometimes it gives me this error. I think it's because I'm using ask, but I changed it I changed it a while back, so I don't know why it went back to not modifying this for me. So now, so this is taking 500, so I need to have it like 5,000 to be 5 seconds, and I don't want it to be just opacity 0. I want to make it display none. Okay. I don't think I need to add this in here. So, oh, okay, sorry. So, yeah, sorry. This was 500. It's going to take. Oh, okay, I got it. So they were hiding it, and then they were removing it. So, yes. So sorry for that. AI, I didn't fully appreciate what you were doing. So let's edit an article. We're going to edit the same article. So changing the same article title. So save, and it's going to, so let's see if there was an error. So why is it not, why this didn't work? So let's see. Okay, so yes, so let's see, message container. So I need to add this ID in here. So that is the ID. Okay, so now we're going to edit the article again. Third, title, save. So now we need to start hiding this. Okay, yes, so it was removed, as you can see. So that's how I want it. It is also going to work with article title. So modify, so creating a new article to create a new article. So now it's new article text, and this is going to be for this. Save, and it was created successfully. It's going to disappear this message, and if I go to blog, we're going to have this new article in here. Okay, so now we are able to. Okay, so now we have the main functionality for editing articles. It's still missing a lot of things that we need to modify. For example, the first thing that happens in here is that when I click, well, there are a lot of things, but the first one is if I click in it, this article already has a title. So why is it not giving me the article name that it has right now? So that is the first thing that we need to work on. So for example, if I go to admin controller, I need to so it's edit article, and so for example input text. Okay, so look, this is giving me article title. So for example, article title placeholder. If I change this is going to change to the new title, the new name that I gave it. But that's not how I want to have it. I want to have it with the full name in here. So for example, if I modify this to article title, so for example, instead of placeholder, if I add this article name, look how if I reload this, it's going to give me the name that I gave it. But if I save this, is going to give me an error because it's not sending anything. So really, we don't need this as a placeholder. We need this as the value for this input text. So let's change this article title like this, and this is going to be the value. So if I go to edit elements, this is the input field. In here, look how we have the old, but the old is the information that we sent with the form, but it had an error, so our server returned the same form saying you that you have an error, so it adds the old value, and we want to respect that. If the user tried to change the old, tried to change that field, and it has a new field, a new value in that field, we want to respect it. But look how it's adding the double interrogation mark, so it's telling if there's no old, add the field value. Okay, so we make this, and look how we have the how we have that that title. So which one? I think it's this one. Let's see. Third session blog article. So let's see. Let's open the database again. And the article 5 has third title. I think this one is not visible. So let's see. Okay, so yes, this one is not visible. So as you can see, we are showing, if I go to this tag, to this article, I Control C, and I go to the article, it's going to show me this article, even though it has is published equals to 0. So it's not showing in here, that's correct, but it's showing in here. And this is going to depend on how you want your application to work. If it's published like 1 with a 1, you want to show it. But if it's false, you don't want to show it in here, but you also, maybe you don't want to show it in here. So it's going to depend on how you want it to work. To make it fully intuitive, we're going to not show it when it has false in here. So if I go to the article controller, we're going to look for the show where slug is article. And there are several ways to do this. For example, I could add something like this, and then say is published true. So now if I reload this is the article that it has that is false and it's published, and I reload this, it shouldn't give me anything. It should give me, well, it should give me an error, but it's not. It's giving me an error, but not the error that I was expecting. So now is first or fail. So it's telling me that the article was not found. So now if I update this to 1, so let's update articles set where ID it's 5, set is published equals 1. Now, okay, so it's giving me an error. So what's the error? Update article set is published equals 1 where ID. So what's the error in here? Okay, so it's update. It's update, not, but that was right. So now if I reload this, we're seeing the article, and this article is now showing in here. It's this one, third title. Okay, so okay, so it's now working. So let's go. I just want to add this article not published is not visible. I want to delete this, not delete, close. And now we need to do this, but for the different field types that we have available. So first we need to validate this. So we need to have a title. So there are several ways to do this. We can make a request to article requests that, because as you can see, we have the same fields in here are the same fields that we have in here. So we can make a request that it's used for the different models. For, in this case, the article model. So let's see if we can do it like fast without having a lot of issues. So let's see, PHP artisan. So let's see, make request. Okay, create a new form request class. Okay, so let's make this PHP artisan make request. So so let's say like something like modify or modify article request. So it's going to be this one. I want to use this one to edit an article, but also to create an article. So if we go in here and we have the requests in here, modify article request. So how is this going to work? So authorize. Okay. So let's see, I think it's like this. So let's see. So where's get create article, post create article. So it's title required string. Okay, requires string nullable. So it's thumbnail nullable. So this one's not required. And nullable image means okay, max and author ID require. Okay, so this is the same thing that we have in here. Okay, so now we can delete from here. Okay. Okay, so now I think I can just delete it from there. So I in here need to add it like this. And this should work. For example, if I go to admin, create article. Okay, so it's giving me an error. Oh, okay. So what's the error? The error has nothing to do with this. It's more because of in the edit elements, remember that I added this field value. Okay, so it doesn't have an old value, so it's trying to add this. So what I'm going to do, there are different ways. I'm going to make it fast, so I'm just going to go to in here and in here. So this one's going to be a value. So no, so this is going to be just like this. So text area. So if I reload this, it should work. Okay, yes, it's just adding nothing in here. So we can validate it in here. So the value is nothing. Okay, but if I so if I now try to create a new article with modify article request type, my article body, and then select an author. Let's publish it. Let's save. Okay, so it's giving me an error. This action is unauthorized. So where are we getting the error? So let's see. Let's see if the error is showing here. So let's see, first of all, if we are getting to, okay, so let's ask this. Let's see. Okay, so the authorized is false. Yes, so I think let's make this true. So let's see. If I save this, okay, article created successfully. We can see in blog that the new article with modified article request was created. Okay, so now let's make an example in here. So let's see. Yes, I think there's an issue in here. So for example, if I send it without a title, so for example, without a body, for example, article 7, let's call it, and this without a body, and we save this. Okay, so it's going to delete this just to. So I'm going to hide this. Refresh. Article 8. Publish. Save. Okay, so it's giving me. It's telling me that this is a that it's required, that this is required. Okay, so it's working. So let's see. So now if I delete, for example, this and article body 8, and we save it, it's telling me that now this is required. Article body, article title 8. So if we go in here, it's not, it hasn't created the article. And we save it, now it should be saved. So now if I request, okay. So it's now working. So for example, okay, now I'm going to comment this. This is working. Okay. Okay. So now what do we need to do? Okay, so now we need to add all of the elements for this article. Okay, so let's go to the edit elements, admin controller. Okay, so now I want to have this same modify article request to edit an article. So in here, we're going to call this I think this is going to be in here. Yes. So this is going to be a modify article request. Okay, like this. Like this. Yes. So now, if I try to edit this article, just with this, it's going to give me an error because the body field is required and the author ID field is required, and we are not sending that. So now, if I go to, let's see, if I delete this, okay, so now it's everything's required. So let's go to admin controller. So let's save this. Created modify request, modify article request, like this. So I'm going to close it, and in here we are going to, this one's going to be field type, so it's going to be, I want this one to, why is this not required? So let's see something here. Required, yes, this one needs to be required. So for example, if I go to the dashboard and I click create article, save, yes, this is wrong, so I need to have it in here. Require true. If I reload this and try to save it, yes, we need to have it. So now if I go to get create article, this one needs to be required. Okay, placeholder, but we also need to have in here the value. Okay. Yes. So okay. So if I go in here, if I go to text area, so for example, text area, we also should have in here something like this field value. Okay, so now in my requests, I need to add this to value to text area, and I have this. Okay. Okay, and in here, value. I don't know if this one's going to work. We're going to see it in a moment. And value. So this one's 1, 2, 3, 4. Select. So I'm still missing is published. Checkbox. Okay. So I don't like this. So let's see. No, this is not. So let's see. No, this is not. I don't like this. Checked. So like this. Okay. So this one. Okay. I'm not completely sure about this. Let's see. So blog create. Okay. So it's not giving me published. So why is that? So for example, no, I don't like this. This is really weird. I also need to work on this one. But for example, this publish. So we're going to leave this as, for example, this is going to be true. So for example, if I reload this, why is this one not? This one's not working. So let's see. So edit elements. Okay, this is value. Input file. Okay, value. Select these ones. I have with this one and this one, I'm a little bit confused. So check. What is this doing? Let's ask something to ChatGPT. Well, not ChatGPT, Cursor, GPT-4o. So let's modify this GPT-4o, and I'm going to ask if this method exists in Laravel. It's not method, declaration. So does check exist in Laravel? Okay. 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 So, but I think, okay, check. No, this is not old. This is. So I'm going to modify this. Instead of old, it's going to be the field checked. Let's see if this works. So yes, it's working. So now let's see in here what happens if I add in here false, just to make sure this is working. Let's reload. Okay, so it's not adding anything. And I just want to make another test. So let's modify this to be old. It's published. If not, it's true. Okay, so let's reload this. Okay, so what happens if I'm going to create an error in here. So I'm going to delete this, and let's add article, new article 9, article 9 body. select an option, author, and this. I'm going to delete this, not delete, uncheck. So why is this asking me? Let's reload this. Article 9 body. Uncheck this. It's going to give me an error. Okay, this title is required and it's adding this. So yes, and this is not working. So okay, so we need to add this as true, but in here we need to add something like old. And then field. So how does this work? So field ID. Let's see if this works with field. I think this is not going to work, but let's try it. ID. So now if I go in here, okay, so it's giving me this. So if I try to send this, it's going to tell me article body and then an author. Okay, so the author ID field is required and it changed this. So let's do it again. Article body, and I unpublish this and save. Okay, so it's re-adding this. So what is this? Okay, I want to. Okay. I want to see what does this value have. So let's. Oh, I think I'm. Select. Yes, I want to. So I want to add in here. Let's see if I can add it. So die dump field. Let's see if this gives me an error. Okay. Just let's see. Okay, so it's published. Okay, so it's giving me. Oh, okay. Got it. So I'm getting the ID is published. So I need to have the. So if, for example, if I add this as false, it's going to give me the same thing. If I reload this, it's going, yes, it's giving me the same thing. So how can I work on this? Let's see. Okay. So let's do it. Instead of DD field, just old field ID. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so that's no. So there's, okay. So let's do is set field ID. Okay. So now I should be able to create the article. No. Yes. So I need to change this to field is published. No. Checked. Okay. So let's reload this. Why is still giving me an error? So it's true. Oh, okay. So let's do this as false. So now it does need to show. So why is it working? Why is okay? Yes, because it's checked. Got it. So how can I do? Let's do it just like with an if like this. So now let's, so yes. So let's send the body, sending the body, the article body. Okay, save this. Okay, now if I do this, okay, it's not doing anything. So I'm going to okay, I just want to add in here. Let's see if sending save. Okay, so let's see if this, why is this not showing? Sending. So if I send this, okay, and now I click here, it's detecting that I selected this option. So so what's going on in here? Oh, got it. So I'm using the original, so I need to use the old. Okay, so first we need to use is set, and this is just for testing purposes. This doesn't have, this is not going to stay like this. So and is set, and this one goes like this, and if this is if old field ID. Okay, let's see if these ones work. Okay, so it's not working. Okay, let's see something. Just a moment. Okay, so I'm going to continue. Okay, so what's going on in here? So let's use, this is, we're having an issue right in here. It's not detecting the old element for the checkbox. Okay, so let's see in here what is there. Okay, is set, cannot use. Okay. Okay, why does it doesn't allow me to? Okay, so let's delete this. Let's see, like this, and okay, so sending, publish, save, and it's detecting that I'm using this, but I wanted to. Let's see if I can. Let's see if I can change this to old field ID. Let's see. Okay, sending, save. Okay, it got it. So now it does have a value, and the value is published. So this, yes, so what's going on here is that it's detecting that it has a value, it was selected, and now it's checking it. So for example, if I reload this, so let's see, create article, it doesn't, okay, got it. So I'm going to not use this. Oh, so for example, sending, I'm not going to check this, so I'm going to save, and it's not adding it. So now if I click on it and I send save, it's detecting it. Okay, so now let's create an article again, and we're going to, well, delete this, we don't need it. So now this is working. I believe so. So for example, if I use sending and I save this, it's going to give me an error. But if I click in here, it's going to save, or to maintain this checked box selected. So now we also need to use the outer to have an old that is working. So okay, so now let's add the required true in here. So now if I try to send this, it's not going to allow me because it's asking for a title, and also this one, this is required. So this is to reload this article title 10. So if I try to send it to body 10, if I try to send it, this is required as well. So I can send it, save, and it's working. So now this is the article 10. It's going to, well, it's not going to appear because it's not published. But now, how can we edit articles? So I need to select which article I want to edit. So for example, I need to retrieve all of the articles and add them in here with a button to edit them. So let's go to so let's save these changes. So I'm going to save everything like this. So able to so this is maintaining previous values, previous article form submission values, as well as current article values. Okay, sync the changes. And so now if I click in edit article, okay, so it's giving me this error, authors options. Okay, so for example, I need to get all of the authors. So where are the authors? Okay, so I could move this to be a function. So let's do it as a function. So let's add private function get authors. Okay, so let's return this like this. So now I can modify this. Okay, what is giving me an error? So map function. Why is this giving me an error? So this, okay, so this one's this one. This one is this one. So this one should work. Okay, to array. Let's see how it was in here. Okay, so let's see. How is map function return? So authors. So I don't know if this is going to do anything. Yes. So supposedly this is working. Let's see with create. Okay, so I have the authors in here. So title 11, sending 11, select an option, publish, save. And if we have in here, we have title 11 with the author. Okay, so now if I go to edit article, okay, I have this error. So now I can just use in here. So this is, yes, this is private, so that it can only be used in this class. So now get edit article. So now I need to get all of the authors like this. So like this. So now this should, okay, allow extensions. So where is the select input file? Okay. This one's required. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's refresh this. Okay, so it's giving me an error. Okay, so it's giving me an error in here. Just going to delete it for the moment. So I'm going to have it like this. Okay, so it's giving me an error. I'm going to work on that later on. It's because of this. It's not allowing me to have to select it, add it programmatically. So okay. So now, for example, if I delete this and I save this, it's going to ask for it. But okay, so now it is not detecting the author. So we need to work on that, and let's see if the published is working. So for example, if we modify, let's modify this to have it as not published. And I try to edit this article again, so it's not published, but it's not detecting the author. Okay, so let's work on that. That is the one that I'm missing. And select value. Okay, so admin. So in here, checkbox, select value. Okay, so we can do something in here. This is where we need to work on this. So for example, now it's working when it's old, but not with the values. So how can we do it? option value. Okay. So how can we do it? So let's ask Cursor. So use old when it's set, or use current value if it's also set. If it's set, let's see. Let's see what does it come up with. I'm just going to move my webcam to the other side. Okay. So, okay, let's see what are the changes. Okay, so let's see. So if yes, this is okay. Let's see. So now if I go in here, okay, so yes, it's selecting. So now if I modify this, and I save this, now if I edit an article, it's saving this new author. But for example, it's also accepting if there's an error. For example, if I go to admin controller and I remove this as required, but then I try to send it like this, for example. So for example, right now the author is Ariel. So if I remove this, but I select the other author, it's maintaining that previous selection that I made. Okay. So I'm pretty happy with this. I'm just going to leave this. So okay. So now there are other things that I want to do in here. For example, I'm going to save these changes, commit them, and so it's going to be maintaining current values when editing article, like this. So now if I'm going to sync the changes, and the other thing that I want to do is when I edit an article, I don't want it to send me back to the main page. I want to stay in the same article. So in here, instead of redirecting to this route, I want to redirect to the same page that I'm at. So it's going to be blog get edit article ID, like this. So if I edit the article and I say, I don't know, title 12, and I save this, it's sending me back to this same article. Okay. And the other thing that I want to do is I want to be able to see all of the articles in here, to be able to edit them. And in here, just let me add something to my notes. Okay. So this is working, like the things that I wanted to do today. Sidebar. Okay. So let's use the design.json. This is the last thing that we're going to see on this session. So let's add some design to this. It's going to be pretty basic, but we're going to see how design.json is going to be working. So let's do, I'm going to save this, commit, sorry. So commit to, so it's going to be redirecting back to edit page, to the article page. Okay, so save and close. Okay, so now I'm going to Where is this? Okay. So now we need, this is the admin layout. And in here, I'm going to say something like add an admin sidebar. And this is where we are going to be using the design.json file. Following the design.json file guidelines, but also be sure to use the classes, the style classes from app.css. So I'm going to make this an agent call, and it's going to be using Cloud 3.5. So let's send this. Maybe it takes a little bit. Let's see. And this sidebar, this is not going to do it, but I want it to be fixed so that it stays in the same place like every time, even though the user can scroll in the website. Let's see how it does it. It's taking a little bit of time. Okay, so let's see. It added a lot of elements. So let's see what's going on here. Admin sidebar. Okay, so okay, it's respecting the background. So I'm going to accept these changes. I'm going to accept these changes. Let's see what is this doing. I mean, there wasn't a lot of things, so no problem. So now let's reload this. And I like it. I like how it looks. I mean, there are those issues that we're not going to see right now, but so it's working this. Okay, so this one is not working. So create article dashboard. Okay, so there are several ways to do this. First, I want this one to have a padding. So for example, a padding like this. Okay, so admin dashboard. Okay, so I'm going to say admin dashboard designed. Okay, and admin dashboard. Where's admin dashboard? So it's index, yes, and so it was edit elements, yes. So edit elements has this px10. Okay. Okay. So now we have this. And there are several ways to work on this. So for example, how can we do this? So right now there's only a blog. There are only blogs. So okay, so let's change this. Instead of using h2 title, okay. So let's do something like articles. And so for example, I want to have this as a div, and I want to include this. So for example, have this and then have it like a class. to be like this. Exactly, that's exactly what I wanted to do. So for example, now we have this button over here. So now, for example, I'm going to add in here some paddings, but it's not like this. So it's going to be a padding just so that it isn't all the way up. And we're also going to add it in here. So it was py2. Okay, we have it in here. And now I want to have in here all of the articles. So now let's go to here, and in index, we are going to get all of the articles, but order by. So I want to have this updated at, and I'm going to get all. So it's going to be get. I want them all. So now we are going to add them in here. So like this. So let's see, like this. So let's see, how does it look? Okay, so articles as article. Why is it giving me? So if I go in here, index articles. So I mean admin index articles. Why is it not? Let's see. By dump articles. Let's see if it's getting something. Admin. So why is it not going through? So let's see what's going on in here. So this is index. So let's type dump something like hello, just to see if we are going inside this root. Okay, so maybe, let's see. So yes, I'm returning the view directly. So I just need to use admin controller. Yes, like this. Okay, so that's hello. And I need to delete this and also this because I'm getting them now. And I have them, all of the articles in here. So obviously this is not the best way to have it. I have to have like a title, like so I'm going to do something like something. So in index like this, let's do a div. So it's going to be something like the title. So I don't know, h4. So article name. So we are going to have a border. Border B, something like that. And then flex. This is going to be flex row. And then maybe have this in here, and maybe have this in here, like this. Let's see, how does this look? So, okay. Now, obviously, this is not the ideal thing, but let's have this like justify between, and this is not going to have the name, so this is going to be something like edit, and but I don't want it to be like in this design, so this is going to be a button, but I want it to be a button. Let me see my app CSS, and now the app CSS it's going to be I want to have it let's see, as a button nav, button muted, button nav. Let's see, how does this look? So small. No. So it's going to be nav, and oh, I got it. So now, so I don't want it to grow. So I think there are different ways to do this. I want to have, I don't know if this is the best way to do it or if it's going to work. Okay, so it's working. Okay. But I don't want it, I want to do something like, I want to do something like background white, like so it's a button nav and then background white like this. Okay, and I'm going to use border, so border 1. Let's see. Okay, well, now you can see how in the left corner, left bottom corner, it's appearing the edit button. So I'm going to click edit, and now I can edit these files, this article, sorry. So this is how you make a blog, how you can create and edit a blog in your own blog, in your own web app. There are still things that I want to add. For example, I want to be able to preview this HTML. Obviously, I want to see how it's going to look in the front end. But I'm pretty comfortable with this. In the next session, we're going to work on how to preview this information. The article, and what else? So be able to add a thumbnail to AWS S3 and also add admin roles. Okay. So, but that's everything for right now. And thank you very much for being here, for seeing this session, this live session. Please let me know what you would like to learn or what I can help you with. Send me a message, leave me a comment, or anything that you want. And that's all, everything for today. See you in the next session.